Starting off with Sun Pharma, positive news coming in there for the company as its subsidiary Hindalco has received US FDA approval for a drug called Prandin. If you look at the annual sales of this drug, that's about $200 million. And well, Hindalco has received a 180-day exclusivity period, which is a big positive for them. If you go by Citi's report, it has said that this drug can add about 3 to 4% to their FY14 EPS, and in the exclusivity period, they can add revenues of about $30 to $35 million. Moving on to the other pharma counter, Cipla, well, it has come under DGCI scanner for failing safety and efficacy test. Some of the samples of ibugesic drug were found to be of substandard quality. Well, the newspaper reports have reported this. Well, we've not received any kind of comments from the management, so that counter will be in focus. And Sterlite Industries will be in focus as the company has started its Lanchika refinery after 7 months of shutdown because of shortage of bauxite. Well, the company is now procuring bauxite from states like Jharkhand, Chhattisgarh and Gujarat. So keep an eye on that counter. And moving on to HPCL, company has signed a pact with government of Rajasthan where it's setting up a refinery at Barmer. Well, if you look at the capacity of this refinery, that's about 9 MMPTA, and the cost of this will be about over 37,000 crore. It's a joint venture with the government of Rajasthan where HPCL will own about 74% stake in this. And Mangalore Chemical will again be in focus. Remember, this counter was up again yesterday. Zuari Fertilizer yesterday again picked up another 2.5% stake in the company, taking the total stake to about 16%. Remember, earlier Deepak Fertilizer had picked up about 24.5% stake. So now Zuari Fertilizer is the third largest shareholder in this company. And lastly, keep an eye on Elder Pharma as the company is looking to reduce the debt on its book by selling some of the assets reported by some of the papers. Economic Times paper has reported that Sanofi is the top bidder for Elder's domestic business, which values about 2,500 to 2,700 crore.
Hindalco, Maruti Suzuki and Shasan Pharma were the three stocks buzzing in trade. Hindalco was shining in trade, surging more than 4.5%, where even if you look at the BSE metal index, that turned out to be the top sectoral gainer where all the metal prices hardened. However, for Hindalco, the company's overseas subsidiary, Novelis raised the prices of its automotive aluminium sheets in Europe by about 160 euros per ton, which is the third price hike taken by the company in this fiscal 2014. And as a result of this, we saw the volume action highest in this counter for the last 3 weeks. Maruti Suzuki, that one skid about 2.5%, so the going was not so good for it, and it continued its downslide for the 8th straight day. Volume action here too was the highest in the last 1 week after brokerage house Macquarie downgraded the counter to neutral from outperform and also cut its target price to 1525 from 1850, citing two key reasons. Number one is that it sees continued weakness in the passenger vehicle demand, which will hit the company despite the discounts on various models, and also the weak rupee and the high discounts are clearly offsetting the beneficial impacts of weak yen over here. Lastly, Shasan Pharma, that one rallied more than 8.5% and has continued to stretch its march up for the last 3 days now, in which it has already zoomed more than 30%. And if you look at the price performance over the last 2 weeks, it's already jumped more than 70%. So the stock is seen surging ahead of its board meet, which is scheduled tomorrow, in which the company's operations will be reviewed, and the volume action here was the highest seen in the last 17 months.